The day did not begin with hope. It began with the sound of metal scraping asphalt, sharp and unforgiving, cutting through the quiet of a pale morning sun on the edge of a suburban highway where dust floated lazily in daylight and traffic moved without concern. A black motorcycle lay on its side like a wounded animal. Beside it, a woman in a scuffed leather jacket struggled to rise. Her helmet cracked, her movement slow. Across the road, a man froze mid-step, grocery bag slipping from his hand, his heart pounding as he realized that for one fragile moment, someone's life depended entirely on him. If you believe that kindness still matters, that second chances can change lives, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Kind Soul Stories. Your support keeps stories like this alive. That man was Arav Mehta, a single father who had learned to live with quiet disappointment. At 39, his life revolved around routines shaped by responsibility rather than dreams. Every morning, under the steady light of day, he walked his 8-year-old son, Khan, to school before heading to his job at a small auto parts warehouse. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier after a sudden illness, leaving him with grief that never fully faded and bills that never stopped arriving. Arav had once dreamed of opening his own repair shop, a place where he could work with his hands and feel proud again. But those dreams were now packed away like unused tools buried under survival. Kindness, however, was one thing he had not packed away. It lived quietly in him, shaped by loss and love. The woman on the road was named Era Voss, though no one in that moment knew her name or the truth behind it. To the world she appeared to be just another biker, dust-stained boots, worn gloves, hair tucked under a helmet. What the world could not see was that she was the sole heir to a global logistics empire. A billionaire who had spent years surrounded by luxury and loneliness. She had walked away from boardrooms and private jets, disguising herself in simplicity, traveling alone on a motorcycle across cities in daylight, searching not for adventure but for something money had never bought her. She wanted to know if love could find her without her wealth speaking first. Arav crossed the road without thinking. Sunlight casting long shadows as cars slowed and passed. He knelt beside Era, checking her breathing. Noticing the tremble in her hands. His voice remained calm, his movements careful, the way they had been the day his wife collapsed years ago. He tore strips from his handkerchief to wrap a bleeding cut on her arm, steadying her as she tried to sit. He did not ask who she was or what she owned. He only saw a human being in pain, and that was enough. When the ambulance arrived, he stayed until the paramedics took over, even missing his shift at work, even knowing it meant another warning from his supervisor. Later that afternoon, under the bright, ordinary sky, Arav returned to his small apartment, guilt weighing on him as he helped Keen with homework. The boy listened wide-eyed as his father described helping someone in need, pride softening the edges of Arav's exhaustion. That night, as sunlight faded into evening, Arav wondered if doing the right thing always had to cost so much. What he did not know was that somewhere in a private hospital room filled with daylight streaming through glass walls, Era was thinking of him, too, not as a rescuer or a hero, but as a man whose eyes held no judgment, only concern. Days passed, and life resumed its rhythm. Then one afternoon while Arav was repairing a customer's car in the warehouse parking lot during lunch, he noticed a familiar motorcycle roll to a stop nearby. All removed her helmet, her expression softer now, gratitude visible even without words. She thanked him simply, explaining she had been cleared of serious injuries and wanted to return the favor somehow. Arav brushed it off, uncomfortable with attention, insisting that helping was just what anyone should do. Era smiled, a smile that carried something deeper than politeness. She asked if he would share a cup of coffee nearby, nothing more. Under the open daylight sky, Urav agreed, not realizing how much that single decision would shift his world. Their meetings became small moments of calm in busy days. Coffee shops bathed in sunlight, walks through public parks where children laughed, shared silences that felt surprisingly full. Era never spoke of wealth or status. She listened as Urav talked about Can, about the struggles of balancing fatherhood and work, about dreams he believed were no longer meant for him. Era felt something she had not felt in years, a connection unburdened by expectation. For the first time, she was not Era Voss, the billionaire, but simply Era, a woman learning how it felt to be seen. Suspense crept in quietly, as it often does. Urav's warehouse announced layoffs, and his name appeared on the list. The news arrived under harsh daylight, unforgiving, and final. Panic settled in as he calculated rent, school fees, groceries. All sensed his worry, though he tried to hide it. She wanted to help, but revealing her truth felt like breaking something fragile. She had promised herself that if love found her, it would be honest, unbought. Still, watching Urav's struggle stirred something fierce inside her. The truth surfaced not through confession, but circumstance. One bright morning, Urav accompanied Era to what he believed was a small charity event she supported. Instead, he found himself standing before a glass tower bearing the Voss Group logo, security greeting with recognition and respect. In that moment, the disguise fell away. Urav felt the ground shift beneath him as realization set in. The woman he had grown close to was not wandering in search of meaning. She owned empires. Hurt and confusion mingled with shame, and he walked away without waiting for explanation. The daylight suddenly too bright. Era did not chase him immediately. She understood his silence, his pride, his fear of being pied. Instead, she made a decision rooted not in wealth but in action. Through quiet channels, she invested in the neighborhood, reopening closed workshops, funding small repair businesses, creating opportunities without attaching her name. Urav soon received an offer to manage a newly funded community repair center, one that felt like the dream he had buried. He accepted without knowing who stood behind it. When Era finally stood before him again, sunlight spilling through the open garage doors, she spoke not as a billionaire, but as a woman asking for forgiveness. She shared her loneliness, her fear that revealing her identity would always erase the chance for genuine love. Urav listened, his anger slowly giving way to understanding. He realized that she had never tried to save him with money, only with honesty when it mattered most. The trust they rebuilt was not instant, but it was real. Months later, life looked different. Urav worked in a place he was proud of, teaching Khan the value of skill and integrity under clear daytime skies. Era remained present not as a savior but as a partner who chose simplicity even when luxury was available. Love grew not from secrets or status but from shared mornings, shared responsibilities, and shared belief in kindness. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that love can be found in the most unexpected moments, please take a moment now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kind Soul Stories. Also tell us where you are watching from because your engagement helps spread stories that heal and inspire. And before this story ends, we have a special request for you. Comment below with the word kindness if you believe that helping someone without knowing their worth can change both lives forever. Under the same kind of daylight where they first met, Urav and Lara stood watching Kian ride his bike, laughter echoing in the open air. No disguises, no rescues, no debts owed. Just two people who had learned that sometimes the greatest wealth is a moment of compassion given freely and the courage to love without knowing what the future holds.